The following program is rated E.
It's home day, and we've got the Perrault here talking tiling.
Does it matter if it's vertical or horizontal?
There's a lot of debate about this in the tile community.
Then Chef Paul has a curry chicken salad recipe for the whole family.
Kids love
a pita.
food.
And I'm sort of like a child. I
That's
love
why
a
you're
pita.
so fun.
Right?
Food so good, you'll lose your table manners.
I'm a don't look at me eater.
Don't look at me! I want to go to town. And later, we've got all you need to know to make your porch petrifying this Halloween.
We should start off with candy.
Yes, we should.
Right, because it's
Almost
the
always
season.
we
Here you
should.
go.
Hey! Get your own candy!
Oh, I love Halloween.
It's Cityline with Tracy Moore.
Good to see you. Hey, how are you? It's so good to see you. Have a seat, everyone. Have a seat. Have a seat. They are on fire today. Are you excited today, everyone? We are. Welcome to Home Day. I get excited about Home Day too. So we have a great show lined up for you today. And I have fantastic guests with me. So please welcome Leigh-Ann Allaire Perrault, the Perrault, Dave and Joey, and Chef Paul Lillakas hanging out in the kitchen. We are going to start things off with a look at how Leigh-Ann transformed her bedroom into a Parisian-inspired oasis.
Oh, bonjour. I have been wanting to do a makeover of my primary suite for so long because really from when we moved in, it was stuck in the 80s. Dark, heavy walls, popcorn ceilings, pretty nasty Berber carpet. And I really needed to not only give it a lot of functionality, but to give it some real design consideration. I took inspiration from a very happenstance trip that I took with my family to Paris, France, where we happened to stay at the very bougie and beautiful Georges V Hotel. Now, it was by complete accident that we were there, but I took in every single element during our stay, all of which were beautiful and over the top, including their use of florals. And I created this DIY painted mural using a projector. So yes, I did hand paint this, but it was a very easy project to do that has huge impact in the space. Now, the other element that I took great notice of was their use of architectural moldings, and I knew that that was something I could DIY myself. So I added a big framed molding behind the mural, but then repeated that around the entire space with box moldings to really give that clean architectural detail and play off of our new crown molding. Our corners were always dead spaces, so I decided to do a little introduction of built-ins, which I assembled and installed myself. These were just stock cabinetry, and if you notice, I did put on the same wall moldings to kind of make them disappear into the space, and by using touch latches, it meant that I didn't need hardware to give a really clean look. So for storage, this was a big win for me, and adding in a quartz top just gave that luxe feeling and really has become the place where all the pillows get piled when we go to bed at night. We edited the space of a lot of unnecessary pieces, but kept two main ones, being the dresser and the armoire. Now with the dresser, I gave it a little bit of a DIY glow up by stripping the entire piece and then restaining it in a much lighter, fresher gray willow stain. Now as for the armoire, this might just be my favorite piece in this space. It was so heavy and really obtuse in the beginning, and I wanted it to feel light and fresh and even make it feel like a bit of a French antique. So I actually painted everything with chalked paint, gave it a little bit of distressing, and then used these really cool paint inlays that give it a toile look and make it look hand painted, but it's not. Now, you know I love a good thrifty find, so when I was on the hunt for a desk that was hotel inspired for the space, I hopped into the secondhand economy and found this beauty for 100 buckaroos. Now, it did need a little bit of love, so I added a beautiful high gloss sheen on the bottom and a lacquer, and then a distressed whitewashed finish on the top. I also wanted to add just that final little touch of glamour with a French-inspired mirror. And this is a Leigh-Ann special that I made myself. It's my first time that I've ever tried plaster moldings, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. All in all, the room went from really dated and drab to what I think is the most inspiring, beautiful space that will always remind me of my favorite family trip to Paris, France.
You did such a good job. Leigh-Ann Allaire Perrault, everyone, joining me now. Okay, you had this vision. You had this vision because you had such a beautiful time when you went to Paris.
Yes.
You stayed at the Georges V. So this is a big deal. Just tell us how you scored that hotel room, because there's a story.
It was completely accidental. I was never meant to go on that trip.
Okay.
It all started with going to a charity fundraiser with my husband, and there was a live auction, and we were separated at one point during the evening while the live auction was taking place.
Okay.
And I wasn't paying attention to what was happening on stage, but just caught a glimpse of him out of the corner of my eye, feverishly waving his hand in the air as I heard the price continue to go higher and higher and higher.
Right.
And I couldn't get to him in time by the time that they said going once, going twice, sold. And he's like jumping in jubilee.
Yes.
And I said, what did you buy? Thinking that it would be something stupid like a ukulele. And he said, I'm taking you to Paris. And I was like, Paris, Ontario? I was so naive, I had no idea. And he said, he was so excited, Paris, France. And I said, when? And he said, I don't know. And I said, where? And he said, I don't know. And I said, for how long? And he said, I have no idea. But he just had always wanted to take me, and it was coming up to our 10th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
So the trip included a stay at this ultra luxury hotel that, again, we had to act as if the entire time. We were not meant to be there.
Yes.
We were not the people that should have been walking around those halls, but we absorbed every moment. The boys, because we took them with us, were like wrapped in the bathrobes in this and gorgeous suite. And you said vision for the bedroom.
Yeah.
I have to say, from being there, it became more, the motivation was a feeling. I so wanted to recapture the feeling of being in that space because it really did something to me, I gotta say.
It did. You had like
really,
a transformational experience there, and you managed to bring it back home.
You know what? I feel that I really did it justice for myself and my family.
Yeah.
My boys come crawl into bed with us, and we watch a movie now.
That's
And
sweet.
I actually laid in bed a couple weeks ago, and I looked around, and I started to cry.
Oh,
Which sounds kind of crazy, but I just felt so
beautiful.
grateful, not only for the space, but for the experience. And now that the space reminds me of the experience of this incredible trip that I had with my family.
This is how you bring vacation home, ladies and
Right?
gentlemen. Like, this is a beautiful thing.
Minus
and
the
that's
room service.
Minus the
I'm
room
just
service,
trying to figure out
for
how to make that
sure.
work.
But we love all of the details you added, because you really did nail that whole Parisian sort of the patina,
Yes.
the fact that it's aged, everything seems original, and a lot of it just came out of your head, right?
Right.
So let's take a look at what, we're gonna show the inlay technique. Let's
Yes.
take a look at what this dresser looked like before and how you transformed it.
So it was just a big
Beautiful.
box in the space before,
Yeah.
but solid wood, Canadian made, a piece that I actually loved and was very functional,
Yeah.
but didn't fit the aesthetic and the style that I wanted. And I want to make a little side note that this entire project, there were 13 DIY projects that I ended up
Whoa.
doing within the space, which meant although the goal was to have it look ultra luxury, it all cost very few dollars. It was a
Good.
very budget-friendly project.
Yeah.
So making over the furniture pieces that I already had was high on my priority list, but again, wanting to make them look like they had a story.
Yes.
So for me, I was very much inspired by toile patterns when we were in Paris, and I wanted to bring that into some of the pieces. And I found this company called Iron Orchid Designs that make these paint inlays, and I want to show you what one of them looks like here.
Yep.
So you get a kit, and on each of the sheets within the kit, it's actually real paint on this pattern. So it looks like it's hand painted. It already looks kind of vintaged and aged.
Yes.
But I'm gonna flip this over right here to show you, whoops, let me see, we've got this one right here. That there's multiple patterns all on here that you can piece together to fill a whole dresser. So I did panels on my armoire. So you can do big furniture pieces, small furniture pieces, or for today's example, we are going to make over a wood tray. So this is just a simple bamboo tray that I picked up on the weekend.
Yep.
And now I will show you how you can transform it into something like this, which again almost has that worn aged antique look to it where it looks hand painted.
Beautiful.
This is one of those projects, it's so easy, it almost is crazy.
Really?
It looks like it's gonna be hard and it's very easy, I assure you of
Yeah, it
that.
looks very technical, like you got to be technical, but you're going to show us how
Not
to do
at
it.
all. So what we're going to start with, whether it's furniture piece or something like a tray, I've just got my little wood sample board here. I've already put 1 coat of chalked paint down.
Okay.
So chalked paint is super important to use because it's water soluble, and the goal is to activate the inlay. I'm actually going to do this in the
I like
essence
the
of
color,
time.
LA.
So they're scared.
Are you freaking out?
No, we want to be really liberal
She's a
with
professional.
this. Honestly, you want to be very liberal with this because you're essentially going to press the inlay into the paint. And you can just remove any excess that you don't need. I'll just kind of push it off to the side here. But actually, the more paint, the better, because as I said, this will activate the paint on the inlay.
Okay.
So once you've got a good hardy covering on there, we are going to take it and put it paint side down. So you can see it's muted on one side, paint side down on the other. You'll notice that it's not a perfect coat, which is totally fine.
So no shaky hands here?
No shaky hands. We are going to place it and tap, and as soon as this inlay hits the wet paint, it starts to activate, but we're gonna help it out a little bit by giving it a spray of some water.
Okay.
You are then going to just tap off any excess and put this to the side and let this dry.
Yeah.
Couple hours or even overnight so you can see it there.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna get your help, Tracy. This is one that I did last night.
Okay.
Do you wanna give it a spritz?
Sure.
So add some
Like
water.
liberally.
Liberal,
Okay.
yes.
I can soak it.
And I'm going to just further soak the paper on here. And now this is just to release the backing. And through the magic of television, fingers crossed, we are going to pull up a corner here, and you can see
Oh, it's already transferred.
the pattern.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. That's amazing.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's phenomenal. I didn't think it was going to work out that well.
Of course it's gonna work. I
Like,
told you
that
this is
was
easy.
good.
And then the last thing that you just wanna do, you can
Yeah.
sand it down a little bit if you need to, but you absolutely need to seal it with a clear coat. So
That's
using a
amazing.
chalked matte clear coat will just seal that in, so if you have a spill, it won't smudge any
Yeah.
of the paint. That's it.
She's a genius.
That's it.
Let's go to break. More coming up on Home Day. My goodness. Stay with us, everyone. Welcome back. I want you to get ready for a splash of style. The Perrault is transforming your ordinary bathroom into an extraordinary spa oasis. Take a look.
Hey Tracy, welcome to our bathroom makeover. Come on in.
So this is a very special client. They've been through a tough time over the last couple of years. So this is gonna be our community give back project for this year.
So this bathroom is in desperate need of a makeover. First off, these black tiles are so outdated and they need to go.
This corner tub is just taking up way too much space and it's gotta go too.
I mean, it's a big enough tub to fit a couple bros.
That's true, that's true.
Then this shower door, this is archaic. I mean, you've got some privacy, but you can see what's happening down at the bottom there. The caulking is given way and we've got black mold showing up. You can see signs of a leak from the past, so this entire shower unit needs to go. This vanity is just taking up a lot of space. The single sink isn't working and a makeup station that just is not getting used. So I'm thinking double sink, open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, the space right now looks like it's straight out of a 70s dressing room.
For the floor, we're thinking maybe some lighter colors. We want to bring in some grays. So it's time to smash this place apart and bring some Perrault's love.
Let's do it.
A seat.
All right, I'll take a seat.
That's it. Just a little bit of glue holding this in place. The tile should not come off this easily. A lot has taken place here since demo day. We have had Cam from CDN Plumbing in to set up all of our rough-ins for plumbing. We've had Joe from Spotlight Electric come in to rough in all of the electrical.
Bebo's delivery service was also kind enough to deliver all of the building materials so that our team could get in here and start putting this thing back together.
Today is all about tiles. So we've got our beautiful gray hex tile going down on the floor, the shower's getting finished, all the tile elements are coming together. So our client really loves the look of subway tiles, and these are great for a shower. They're quick to install, and we went with a straight stack pattern. If you notice on these, they actually have a little bit of a wave to it. So it's not just a blank tile going across, it's got a little texture, a little depth to it.
We'll get our floor down and then finish that bottom row after the floor is in place. So thankfully we have Mark from Marksman Tile here today, and he's gonna start smashing out this floor for us.
Very well done. Loved it. Really, really good. I have to say, first of all, the Perraults are with me now. I love these two because they are constantly giving back. That was a give back. So a client that needed a bit of help, that's the way you're supposed to live. Those that can help should help. You know, if you're struggling, you just take care of yourself. But if you can help, you should help. And you two are constantly helping. So we love that. You're going to see the whole reveal later on in the show, but first, let's talk tiles. It was very satisfying seeing you put those tiles together. Like, there's just something about it, right? So we need to know the steps to take when we want to lay tiles at home because it looks complicated.
Yes, and we want to help all of you get a good grasp of this, whether you're taking it on as a DIY or you're having a renovation done. I think it's important to know the process, know the steps so that you can make sure it's being done properly.
Yes.
And some contractors not just slapping it together to make a quick buck, right? We got to make sure it's done right. So a good tile job starts with a good base.
Okay.
Laying tile on a flat surface is always going to be easier. So you want to check your subfloor once you've gotten it all demoed back to the subfloor. You want to check to see if there's any humps or any valleys. Any big humps can be sanded down, scraped down to flatten out, and any valleys can be filled up with some self-leveling cement.
Okay.
So that way you've got a nice flat surface, will make laying the tile a lot easier.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We've all had deconstructed food. This is our deconstructed tile setup here. So next step of the process here is a primer for the subfloor. Now this is key and something else that was missing in that bathroom and why the tiles came off so easily.
Yes.
It wasn't primed. If you don't have a subfloor primer on the wood will actually draw the moisture out of the mortar and it'll dry improperly, and that's why you have tiles just popping off. So you need to have a primer, and then an uncoupling membrane is also very important. This is something we do on all of our tile jobs.
Yes.
This is something that takes the stress of the house, because your house is always moving and shifting, and it takes that stress away from the tile itself so you don't have cracking. It also distributes the weight of the tile throughout the entire floor instead of just each individual tile.
It sounds like it just got a divorce. It's an uncoupled, what is it?
Uncoupling membrane.
It's a membrane that got divorced.
But it's keeping everything together at the same time.
It's almost like counterintuitive the way that works.
I like to think of it as like your therapist. Like it's holding the
it
stress,
together.
it's keeping it all together for
I like
you.
that.
Also, if something's stressing you out, you can just wrap in that. Dave stressed me out, I'm wrapping in my cup. He's not a stress anymore.
Very good.
This one specifically too is a heated membrane one too. So you could run a heated membrane cable through that to have a nice heated toasty floor.
That's fantastic.
So once you've got all those down, then you can see here we've got the tile on there and you can see the mortar lines.
Yeah.
So that's one of the most important things, and we're gonna kind of give you a little demo on how to put it together properly.
Okay.
Because those mortar lines are essential in, as the tile collapses and gets pressed into it, those lines collapse down, spread the mortar across the whole tile so that you've got great coverage.
Okay, so there's a reason why you've got those lines and grooves in there.
Yes, it's not just for, I mean, it's satisfying,
looks pretty.
right? It's like a little Zen garden.
Absolutely. So we've got some plexiglass sheets here. These are representing tile. We don't suggest doing a plexiglass floor. Not going to be a good look. But we've got plexiglass here. We're going to show you what not to do first.
Okay.
So
Don't do this.
You might have seen people doing it, and we call this kind of like cookieing. So it's like little cookies you're putting down on the corners.
Yeah.
This isn't like crafts, arts and crafts as a kid.
No.
If you glued a piece of paper, it would stick. But if you put a piece of tile and you just dab the edges of it, you can see how much air is left in behind that tile. So that hasn't properly dispersed across the entire tile. There's air pockets there, it's gonna crack, it's gonna shift.
Yeah.
There's too much room for air. Somebody doing that, if you see them on your job, you gotta stop right away because a project like that is not gonna last.
Tell them the Perraults told you.
Yes.
Stop it. You need a trowel.
So that is why we have notched trowels. And there's different sizes of notched trowel.
Okay.
So the larger the trowel, or the larger the tile, the larger the notches in the trowel that you need.
Okay.
So these big ones are 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. That's if you're doing a large format.
Yeah.
We've got the 3/8 1/4 inch, which is what we're going to be using today. And then you have a little V notch that you can use if you're doing like a backsplash tile.
Okay. All right. And so you're going to show us how to put that on?
Yeah, so you want to just put it on in a nice straight line. So you don't want to like swipe it around too much.
No.
You want a nice straight line that's going to go across. Let me hold that so you can.
So he can get to business.
Yeah, so you're gonna cover the space of the tile in a nice straight line, and as the tile presses into that, each of those ridges are gonna collapse down and spread across the whole way.
Okay.
Making a mess here.
Does it matter if it's vertical or horizontal?
It doesn't. We try to keep it in the same direction. There's a lot of
Okay.
debate about this in the tile community. Some people like
I
to
hit
do
a
the
nerve.
rainbow pattern. Some people like a swerve to
I've
it.
seen that rainbow.
Exactly. We like to just go all one direction.
Okay.
The consistency of that mortar should be like a peanut butter or like a cake mix. You
Oh,
want it to be
delicious.
movable.
You're making me so hungry
Right?
today. We talked about cookies, now it's peanut butter.
But you don't want these ridges to collapse on their own. That's one of the keys. You don't want it to be too loose where it's already collapsing. It should stand on its own.
All right.
And then when we get our tile to lay it in, that's when you press and you see those collapse.
Yeah, smoosh
and go
it.
together.
Very good. So that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Do you have to do that quickly? Do you, like, is there a time constraint here? Like,
Yes and no. So the mortar will start to set up. It'll get a little bit harder. It's important that if your mortar is setting up, you don't just add water and remix it. That's not good. If it's starting to set up, throw it out, start a new batch. So work in segments. You want to start with little segments that are doable.
Okay.
There's also a lot of little tips and stuff for making tile easier. This is a tile level clip. So in between each tile, you can use this, like we have here, to help keep everything flat and level. So you can feel it, but then also once it's dry, you peel that out and you knock that out of place, and now it's left open for all of your grout joints.
So it spaces it perfectly, and
Exactly.
And then you've got this great job. And then the next is the grout, which we'll save for another episode because that's a whole other thing,
ball game.
right?
A whole nother ball game.
Really, that's a beautiful lesson. You know, I'm still not going to do it, but I'll call you guys.
Okay, fair enough.
Make sure you stay tuned after the break for the big bathroom reveal. Stay with us, everyone. We'll go to break. And bubbling with anticipation, get ready to be wowed by their stunning bathroom transformation reveal.
Everyone ready for the big reveal?
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
The original floor was one of the big pain points for the homeowner. She had that old black square tile. She wanted to get far, far away from that. So we've gone with a hexagon-shaped gray tile.
So we carried the whole floor right through into the shower space. That way it has a nice consistent flow throughout the whole bathroom.
One of the big changes here too, obviously, was the tub. That was a big old tub covered in, again, that black tile, and it was big enough that the two of us could squeeze in there. So it was dominating the space. It was way too big, so we switched it up to a freestanding, nice clean white tub.
Freestanding tubs are just the nicer way to go. A lot of old bathrooms have them built in and it's just oversized and takes up too much area. Where a nice freestanding tub, you can still go big, a nice deep tub so you can really lay in there and soak and get cozy. And it just makes the space feel more open and airy. The old shower had its problems. There was leak, there was mold, there was mildew. It was ready to come out, and the new shower is just bigger, brighter. The glass doors, the black accent features, the white tile, it all just comes together and makes it feel quite a bit bigger than the old one. That old vanity was oversized and underused. The space in there was not being utilized, so Home Hardware actually supplied us with this beautiful 2-sink vanity that has more storage than the old one did. So the nice bright wood colors bring some warmth to the room as well, and it just fits the space so nicely. When it comes to a bathroom makeover, identifying your needs is the most important thing. Is it storage? Is it function? Is it just cleanliness? So all of those things come into play, and then figuring out what you have space for. You're usually limited in a bathroom as to where plumbing fixtures can go, but just making sure you're paying attention to your needs so that way when it's done, you're happy with it. But most importantly, hire a couple hunks like
wish we had their reaction live when we saw the reveal. So they were like, oh, us were like, oh my goodness, bye-bye 80s, hello, chic, beautiful, contemporary, glam, spa-like, all of the words. So there's so many things to talk about in this space, and it wasn't a big bathroom.
No.
You really made the most of every square footage, but let's talk about ventilation to begin with.
Yes, this is something that often gets overlooked, but is directly tied to the longevity of the bathroom. All the things that we were pointing out there that were going wrong, the mold, the mildew, that's all because of improper ventilation. We put in 2 Panasonic Whisper Fit ventilation fans. Now there's 2 because there's one outside of that shower, which is going to get rid of the humidity, and then there's one inside a water closet. Now this is an important point. If you're going to create a water closet for privacy, you also got to vent the air out of that water closet. You know what I mean? Why? I think you know why. But it's that stale air. You don't want it sitting in the space. You need that out of there, and you need the moisture and humidity out of there. Those all go back to a Swidget technology switch. So that way, if you go in, you have a shower, and you forgot to turn on the fan, they have a sensor on there that actually senses temperature and humidity and will turn them on automatically.
Amazing. That's so good. Okay, so we're ventilated. What about storage? Storage. It's always an issue.
Yes, storage is key, and especially for this client as they're going through some treatment, they've got a lot of stuff that they had in the bathroom. So a nice big double vanity with storage underneath, drawers to organize from Home Hardware. We've also got the 2 mirrors, which have a little shelf on them for added storage, and it helps just keep that countertop clean and clear.
Yes.
Then inside that water closet area too, we threw in some floating shelves because you have usable wall space. Why not utilize it, especially over top of the toilet? It's a non-utilized spot in a lot of bathrooms. Throw some shelves in there, you've got lots of storage space.
Okay, so let's talk about the most important things to consider when you're planning a bathroom reno. What needs to go through your mind?
I mean, it's the steps of the process and knowing where to invest that money. We talked about it in another segment about what's underneath the tile and doing it properly so that it is going to last for you.
Okay, all right. Make sure you're doing it properly so that you've got this bathroom working for you. You don't have the cracked tiles that we have. I gotta look under those tiles and see if there's the primer and the divorced membrane. Because I don't know, man. Thank you, Brolas, for that. And before we go to break, a huge shout out to Noms Organic Bites for sending our audience this seriously delicious treat. It's fresh, it's fudgy, it's chocolatey, it's a snack made with only 4 simple, wholesome ingredients, 100% good for you. Let's go to break. We'll be right back, everyone.
Cityline.
It's good for your mood.
Make the most of your me time.
I live for this.
Self-care.
Feel good? Yeah.
Never felt so fun.
She said you would laugh.
Escape with Cityline.
It's time for Chef to the rescue. We sent this guy, Chef Paul Lillakas. Does he have fans? We sent him to help one family with their dinner dilemma. Take a look.
I wrote into Cityline because I've been so frustrated trying to find a meal that everybody in my house will like. My daughter's vegetarian, my husband's diabetic, one likes red sauce, one likes white sauce. All of them think that they're better cooks than I am. I want to show them that I can cook a good meal that will please everyone. Oh, Chef Paul, come on in.
Hi, let's do some cooking together.
Let's go to the kitchen.
Okay, I'm thinking 1 sauce, 2 ways, veggies on the grill, chicken on the grill, and then we bring it all together with a Madras curry sauce. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay, let's get cooking. Let's apron up.
Okay.
So many households have varying tastes and varying dietary needs, so I really wanted to make a recipe, develop a recipe that is a one-size-fits-all solution for families just like this one. Do you want to chop this onion? Who normally does the chopping in your house?
When my husband cooks, he does the whole thing. When I cook, I do the whole thing. When my daughter cooks, we stay away, let them do their own thing.
All right, so it's very independent, not a collaborative kitchen. I'm going to chop these carrots off with a little green at the top. They're really nice, they're fresh, they're local, so I'm just going to have them right down the middle. And while doing that, you want to keep dicing there? Okay, so in trying to come up with a simple recipe, we're using Madras curry powder today. It's honestly, it's just got more complexity to it.
Okay.
It's got a better blend of spices, and it's got more fenugreek in it, which is one of the flavors I really love in curries. So, believe it or not, aside from some chili flakes, this is the only spice that we're using in this recipe. I do everything upside down with the cauliflower. I like to go in like this, and now,
Oh, and it just peels apart.
yeah, you know, certainly we don't want anything that's gonna fall through the grill, but something like about this size, I think is great. We're gonna do some chicken. I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and of course, the vegetables that we've already prepped. So, they're gonna get the same seasoning. We just want to season in layers here. About 2 tablespoons per. Okay, so these are gonna go right in here, just like that. So these can just wait, ready for the grill, and let's make our sauce.
Okay.
So for the sauce, we began by toasting that spice mix, the same Madras curry powder, and a little bit of chili flake, and then adding our aromatics, so our garlic, our ginger, and our sweet onion. Are your eyes burning? Here, let me take over. And we sauteed that until the onion was nice and soft, added our crushed tomatoes, and then just simmered it until the onions are perfectly cooked through. Just let this simmer until it's nice and soft, and then we can blend it and finish it. In the meantime, let's go turn on that grill. Okay. So now that our sauce was made and just lightly simmering, we took our vegetables and our chicken to the grill. Let's make this the chicken set of tongs and grilled them until they were nicely charred on the outside and tender on the inside. We're gonna take those inside and then we're gonna finish up our sauce. We need a little more liquid in here, and we're gonna add some cream anyway. We're gonna add about a cup. Okay, so now because we're doing vegetarian and chicken, let's split this sauce into 2 different pots.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get our vegetables and chicken in there, and then it's almost time to eat.
Oh, sounds good. Doesn't this look good?
It does. It looks awesome. It was delicious, and it was made from scratch and didn't take too long, and I think Terry will be able to cook that for the family.
We all love Indian food, and I was so glad he was able to show me something that I could make from scratch with the flavors that everyone's going to enjoy.
Well done. You know, there's something very intimate about cooking with people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Cooking with a stranger. So it is so lovely to see you there with her, and her husband loves it.
was so nice.
And it's nice that they can cook from scratch, because a lot of people are not doing that these days.
Yeah,
So just
we gotta
get the
get back to
recipes.
that.
Absolutely. So it was Madras chicken curry with cauliflower.
Yeah.
Incredible and simple, as we saw in that tape. You were going to take the main ingredient there, the Madras curry
Powder, the
curry powder,
yeah.
and do something different with it for us now, because people see
Exactly.
curry and they're like, intimidated.
They think, oh, that's a really complicated recipe. And
Yes.
they can be. Curries are,
Yes.
traditionally, they have long lists of ingredients. They can be intimidating. But one of the reasons I love Madras curry powder, it's just a variety of curry powder. It's a blend, a masala. And the reason why I like Madras curry powder is because it has lots of fenugreek in it, which,
Yep.
if you like butter chicken, that's what makes butter chicken really, really special.
Yes.
It's got a little bit of heat from Kashmiri chili, and it's got all kinds of other spices blended in. So you could pretty much just use that one blend. And today we're going to use it in a different way.
Beautiful. Okay, so how are we going to use it today? What are we making?
Okay, so we're going to make curry chicken salad sandwiches. So kind of in the same
Delish.
vein, I've grilled off some chicken thighs, simple salt, pepper, oil,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna help me make a Madras curry mayo. So
Sure.
I have some mayo here.
Yep.
You can just throw in that powder there. That's about 2 teaspoons of the Madras curry powder. I'm gonna start dicing up this chicken. You
Nice.
can add a little bit of minced garlic. So you know, this is gonna have a lot of flavor to it.
Absolutely, and that's what we want. I mean, whether you're making something that might be an appetizer or a main dish, it's about the flavor profile, right?
Absolutely, and the color, you know, presentation is key. So
Yes.
this mayo is already getting a beautiful golden color.
Yep.
We're gonna add a little bit of green onion in there.
Nice.
And that's all there is in this. So, big, bold flavors.
Yep.
And if you wanted to, you could cut that mayo with a little bit of yogurt if you don't want it to be quite so rich. I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
that chicken right in.
Delicious.
A little bit more. And the reason why I like to grill the chicken instead of just using, I mean, you could use rotisserie
better,
chicken.
isn't it?
It adds
It's
smokiness, it adds a little
Yeah.
more flavor.
There's
So-
something about it.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing about something like this is that this is going to hold so well in the fridge.
Yes. You can make this
Right?
on Sunday. You could eat it all week long. So
Yes.
this could be a weeknight dinner,
Yep.
or it could be lunch the next day, or it could be both.
Beautiful. Okay, so with that, that's good?
Yeah.
Mixed enough for you?
Yes, so we're
Okay.
going to make some pitas here, and these can be made as an appetizer or as a lunch or as a dinner, like I said. So we're
love
going
a
to
pita.
Yeah, let's stuff it, and so do kids. Kids love
Kids love a
stuffed
pita.
food.
And I'm sort of like a child. Leo says he has 3 kids. I'm one of them. I
That's
love
why
a
you're
pita.
so fun.
Right? Thank you. Tell my kids that. And put some of that
All
in
right,
there.
some of this goes right
Are
in.
you an overstuffer or an understuffer?
I tend to be an overstuffer,
Okay.
and then things become hard to eat.
Yeah, that's okay. When you're eating amongst friends, you're
Absolutely,
allowed to,
or
you
in
know,
the
go a
privacy of
little
your own
messy.
company.
Yes, there's something really good about getting down and dirty with food when you're by yourself in
I
your
love it.
house.
I'm a don't look at me eater.
Don't look at me. I want to go to town.
Yeah. So I'm adding a little bit of radicchio. Now, that's optional, but because this is rich, I like a little bit of bitterness.
Yes.
And it also adds a nice color.
Very nice.
And I'm also going to stuff in some sprouts. So I have these rainbow sprouts. You could use any sprouts you want.
Nice.
And it just looks beautiful. And then
Gorgeous.
you could serve that up just like that.
Look at
You could
that.
Wrap it
Isn't that
up.
nice?
You could
Beautiful.
Yeah, you could serve it with a nice side salad.
So are you looking at this and feeling like, ooh, I would like to try it? Would you like to try it?
We made some. You want to take it out?
Let's take it out.
All
He's very good about feeding everyone. So why don't you, I'll take some napkins,
Yes.
you take some pitas, we'll give
Food
them
is to be
to
shared.
the audience, and we will eat, we will break bread together, my
Yes.
friends. I had to start down here. All right. Very easy recipe, and we always tell our viewers at home, if you're ever looking for it, I'll do the napkins and you do the serving.
Would you like one?
It is cityline.tv for all of our recipes that are very, very loved.
There you go.
You go all the time. See? Go to our
welcome.
website,
Enjoy.
cityline.tv. We're going to break. We got more coming up, everyone. Stay with us. It's time to join the party.
We want to shower you with fun, prizes, and unbelievable surprises.
Are you ready for this? Head to cityline.tv/tickets and see the show you love come to life. We are back, and Leigh-Ann is here to unveil her golden tricks for a front porch that's frightfully delightful and bone-chillingly inviting. I had to say it like that.
I love it. We should start off with candy.
Yes, we should.
Right, 'cause it's
Almost
tis the
always
season.
we
Here you
should.
go.
Hey! Get your own candy!
Oh, I love Halloween so much. Like, I can't even tell you.
This is so your time.
This is like in my head right now. I get to bring it to life. Yes, I'm so excited.
So if we want to have, Halloween's coming up, it's just around the corner, we have sort of a short period of time, well, unless you're LA.
Like, no,
She's
this
like,
is
I did this for 6
month-long.
months.
Yeah.
But if you want to do some decor on your front porch and you want to go big, I feel like you have some tips for us.
You can go big and you can do it with some amazing store-bought products. Or you
Yes.
can also do a little DIY. And I wanted to share a picture of one of my very first Cityline projects for Halloween,
Okay.
which I still put out every single year. And that is some pool noodles
yeah.
with dollar store tights and shoes from the thrift store that sit on my front porch every year. And
So
it's just
good.
kind of become like one of those feel-good, funny moments. But if you don't want to DIY, you can buy. And this just cracked me up when I saw it. So I found this and the other inflatables from the Home Depot. And not only is it like, inflatables are great to start with because they're so comical.
Yeah.
But this one lights up, and as you can see is animatronic. What I love most about it too is that it's like kind of sporadic. Like she's really
Yes.
having her moment there. And just the details with the ooze coming down, so hilarious, so much big impact. But also stores so small.
Yes.
Which is so incredible.
Yes, and the other thing I like about inflatables is, like, you need one.
Right.
You can be sort of a lazy decorator and just
Absolutely.
put one big thing on your lawn. It's like, oh, she's in the Halloween spirit, right?
Totally. Put out the inflatable, put it on a timer. You don't have to
Yes.
think about it. So it comes on when dusk falls and you're good to go.
Yeah,
The one that's
nice.
beside you, I also love, is just a great statement
cute.
piece. If you've got kind of a grand front entrance, 2 of these on either side of your door, again,
Yes.
just brings that whimsy of Halloween.
Yeah.
Because again, it's almost like a real life
sweet.
cartoon character.
Like a bunch of pumpkins. Like
Right.
it's like an Olaf, though. It's like happy.
Yes, exactly.
Right? If you want to have happy decorations.
And they stole the witch's hat, obviously. So
Clearly.
they kind of go part and parcel. Yes.
They totally do. Okay, what else do we have going on here? Do you want to talk lights?
I love talking lighting
Yes.
because I think that's another way that you can introduce a few select pieces, and at nighttime it immediately captures your eye and really creates a moment.
Yes.
So you can go something as small as these little skull stakes. These are actually, they come strung together and they have little garden stake
so
there.
cute.
And what I love about these, they're on a battery pack, so you don't need to worry about running wires.
Yeah.
But you can use these to light your walkway. So again, the safety
Yes.
element. And you might not think that that's a lot of light. It actually is a lot of light at night that
It
comes
is.
out of the eyes. So
Okay.
that's a great little feature.
I also like putting in the planters, though. That's cute.
Absolutely. And you know what, actually, talking about planters, you've got a buddy right beside you
Yeah.
there with
Hey.
the glowing eyes, right?
Who's gonna win?
I love the high five factor. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has seen the quintessential 13-foot tall skeleton from the Home
Yes.
Depot this season.
Yes.
We couldn't fit it in here, but this is the
Yes.
miniature version of him.
It's cute.
What I would actually do is put that near your front door. It comes on a stand, which is great. If you still have a planter with dead plants in it from the summer, nobody's judging.
I do.
Then this works perfectly with the Halloween theme. Keep your dead plants and maybe put that on top of your planter with all of like the dead gooey flowers underneath and just make it a scene, a little vignette moment at your front door.
I like that I can tell my neighbors that it was intentional.
Right. I just left
wanted
them there
this.
waiting for Halloween.
Yes, for
exactly.
Halloween and
Don't
put this
ditch
guy
them
in.
yet. But
Very
again,
smart.
the little LED glowing eyes on those.
Yeah.
Also the LED glowing eyes on my spiders.
Yes.
Ditch the fall wreath for Halloween and think about just putting something like this or a couple of them. You can use the 3M hooks to put
Nice.
them up temporarily on your door.
Yeah.
And the big one is just
They're
hilarious.
actually gross.
They're very gross.
They're actually kind of gross.
You can pet it, you can name it.
Yeah.
But they're also just really fun. They have
they're
that
great.
whimsy to them. And speaking of lighting, I think
Yes.
one of my favorite things that I scored this season were these light bulbs. I found these on Amazon. So these have, you can see the little flame that's in them.
Yeah.
And if you actually turn them upside down, it actually switches the direction of the light so that whether you have an up light or down light, it looks like the flame's going in the right direction for you.
Yes.
I put these outside of my own house. The effect is amazing because it still gives you enough light to be safe, again, lighting up your walkways.
Yeah.
But I want to show you one other thing that we're looking at now that I used to light up the front of my home.
Okay.
I did, this is where DIY kicked in. I went to
those
the
look
dollar
so
store and bought I bought some Bristol board or some Bristol, what do you call it? The paper.
Bristol board, yeah,
yeah.
Bristol board, that's it.
And cut out these little alien silhouettes. We see them in behind here too. You can put these in your window, just literally scotch tape them in the window. So super inexpensive. You can cut out ghosts, you can cut out witches, you can cut out anything that you want, some bats.
Oh, they're so good.
And then I used an EcoSmart light bulb in a lamp that I took the shade off of behind the window. So then you get that silhouette at night. And what I really love about the EcoSmart bulbs is there's an app for them. So you can change the color of them depending on the theme for your space.
Love it.
You can also be lying in bed and think, oh, we forgot to turn off all of the Halloween decorations and turn it off from your bed. Right?
Yes.
Which I love.
Very good. The other thing,
These are so adorable.
love that.
I found these on Amazon. They're
Yes.
just like, I think, again, that kind of cartoon, fun, whimsical element of Halloween.
Yes.
So they light up. I tuck these into my planters, but they also come with a hook. So you could either hang these from a tree, put them in your bushes, or what I think would also be hilarious, speaking of windows, is hang them from some fishing wire and have them peeking through curtains in your house. Little peepers,
Your
right?
brain.
Jeepers creepers.
This whole segment, I'm like, watch out, someone's trying to kick you in your head. If you loved everything in this segment and you want it for yourself, scan the QR code on your screen. That's where you can shop everything in this segment. We're going to break. We got more coming up. Coming up on Monday, travel expert Natalie Preddy is here, and she's giving us a look inside Club Med's first North American all-inclusive mountain resort. And it's in Quebec. I actually was following this on her Instagram. So we're also going to be giving you a chance to go as well. Tune in to find out how you could win a 3-night stay for 2 adults and 2 kids to Club Med Quebec Charlevoix, which I want to go there so badly. It is gorgeous there. I've heard beautiful things, especially this time of year. Fall looks stunning in Quebec. So good luck to you for that, and we'll see you on Monday. Well, how about a big thank you for these folks on our show today? So good. The Perrault, Chef Paul, LA, and by the way, Chef Paul's sisters in the